Hi, everybody. So, Tekken 8 just had its final character revealed. I was going to be doing full character trailer reactions, but that kind of fell by the wayside because got busy, got sick, things happened. So, we're going to kind of make up for it with this podcast, and on with me is John McBaugh. So, here's Johnny.
Wait, where did he go?
Fuck you.
No, fuck you. If the silence wasn't enough. You know this will just be a thing whenever we do this, right?
Yes, and I'm always trying to play into it and see where it goes because I love the banter, and Chameleon Storm, who I've nicknamed Melian, says he really loves the banter, and I want to see where the banter goes.
But yeah, no, I'm glad to be here. I actually did put up a trailer, a quick reaction for the newest character, but I was actually watching the Tekken stream, so we'll talk a little bit if you want about that, like, some of the stuff that they discussed.
Oh yeah, we definitely can, but let's kind of shoot the shit, get caught up with each other, because it's been a little bit since you were last on the channel.
Mostly been busy, work and everything. You know how that is, but I've had a few days off, so just trying to relax before the fun starts, you could say.
And now you are no longer high-strung McBaugh.
Well, I'm still going to be high-strung, so we'll find out.
No, but you had enough time to unwind at least a little bit, I'm guessing.
I've had a few days, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Maybe the next time you do this, I'll probably still be high-strung or just like,
Basically, we need to get you drunk more often, because you did have a drinking stream recently.
Which, final tally count was at, I think, 7. Which, that video is up, so if you guys want to see that, feel free. Also, I am open to liquor suggestions, too, if you want me to try something.
There is actually a drink I want you to try at some point. You don't have to do it on stream, but I would love to see you drink it on stream, because it would be good content, I think.
It's not your piss, is it?
Fuck you.
Hey, I'm just asking.
No, it's a cocktail called the Blue Moon.
I feel like I've had that, but I think I may have. But send me those details. I'd love to take a look at it.
I'm gonna get it up on screen now, and you can take a look at it, because it's literally like a short recipe.
Excellent.
And most of the alcohol is like readily available, so you don't have to do anything too special.
Just make sure to mix things correctly.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, no, that's something to look to. I'll just have to make sure to get my hands on some of that stuff.
Yep. So,
how have you been, though?
Not feeling the best, let's say that.
Are you feeling better, though?
A little bit.
At least that's a good sign.
Also was kind of feeling stressed because video premiere for a collaboration, was worried it would not go well, and you know how many problems me and Goto were having with that goddamn video.
Listen, it's never ever going to be seamless. There's always going to be issues. It's just you run with it and you do what you can.
Yep. Which is why I'm going to be massively reducing collaborations for a while, because I don't think myself or Goto or even Madman really wants to deal with that headache for a while.
Or make it selective, basically.
I have 2 more, and then I'm taking a break.
Okay. But obviously I think you want to do some more together, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, these podcasts, they're easier to get out. It's just a matter of, is Johnny Boy free or not?
Yeah, and you know how my time schedule goes.
And you know that I'm basically almost always up, so if you're up, I can pretty much just pop one out.
Exactly, yeah. Just time.
So,
but let's go.
Yeah. What did you think of the presentation before the final character reveal?
So basically everything, for those that haven't watched it, I believe there is going to be an archive up that you can see what it was.
Which I'm going to rewatch when I'm in a more better headspace, because I was not in the headspace to watch all of that fapping about.
Yeah, no, I watched pretty much most, if not all of it, but it started off with the the champions from Evil Champions from Tekken 7, just basically doing a best of 3 matchups. But it
was almost King of Fighters like.
That's the thing I wanted to talk about, because it was almost KOF like, where you pick 3 characters, but you play a full match with that character, and you kick that, and once that character's defeated, they're out. I thought that was an interesting setup.
I think that's an interesting setup, and I want them to make that an official game mode.
Well, do like a tag mode, do like, or even do it like a tag mode, like say KOF 11, where you had three characters and you can tag them in and out. So you mix tag tournament with KOF 11's kind of like tag system. I think that would be cool.
That could be cool, but I mean, like, have that format that was on display in the tournament, but have it so that it's set up so that it's seamless.
Hmm. That would be
So
cool to see. But yeah, those matches were actually pretty good. There was a lot of common characters that were used, but it wasn't until around the end of it. I just need to remember who was on the list, though.
I know Azucena saw play in the final
Yeah,
matchup or close to it.
Azucena, and basically the person who played Azucena just like
And I
destroyed
think
their opponents.
I feel like I saw people in chat saying nerf Azucena. I do not think Azucena needs nerfed yet. I don't think she's going to be a top tier character. We will discuss that later on.
Yeah,
But I think that it was basically down to basic knowledge checks. She's such a new character that people just would not have the information on her yet, so people are being thrown. I think that's what we were seeing at play here.
I
I
think
don't
we
think
were seeing that for sure. But it's also the other thing that demonstrates with Azucena. She makes use of the systems very well because she's been built around that. I
Yep.
think, and that's the other
she
thing we
has.
saw here.
She has, and I think that it was a little bit more seamless for her because I noticed that heat engagers and all of that was not being used as much as I would have thought.
Yeah,
Because I think these pro Tekken players are still in the Tekken 7 mindset.
yeah. Well, most of them were, but it wasn't. But it's like Arslan Ash. That's the guy who I was trying to think of. He was the one that used it kind of the most, but it's just yeah. For some of them, like it's just non-reliance on the heat gauge.
And I think that Arslan Ash he's younger, so they even said that in the video.
Hmm.
That he's one of the younger competitors that they had at that particular tournament, so I think that he's less set in his ways. I think he's more willing to experiment.
But we'll have to see more because, like, again, we're not treating this as like this is how the game is going to be because things will change. But I did see what was it? Nobi actually just destroying, I think, with Lars.
Yeah,
And
he
Lars is
was.
now someone on my radar because, like, I did try out Lars a bit, not in like the fighting mode, but with scenario campaign in Tekken
Mhm.
6, and I knew Lars was good, but I didn't think he would be that good.
See, they did note that Nobi is actually a Lars main, so
Hmm.
take from that what you will. I think that was a little bit. He picked his main, he knew his main, he was just learning the new shit.
Hmm. But other ones like Brian, I know Brian's been kind of a staple of the series, but Brian has never been one on my radar.
Hmm.
But he looks like he could be a lot of fun.
So let's start breaking down the roster. We'll go in order on the Tekken website
Hmm.
because I think that is the most logical way to go about it. What do you think?
Well, we'll start from the top and then I'll work our way down with it. Yep.
Yeah. So Kazuya, we knew he was going to be in this because this might be his final game. Who knows?
Yeah, because they're setting up story mode because that also leads to the next character, Jin, where like it's a battle between these two.
Yeah. And aren't they touting this as like the final Mishima saga?
I thought that's what Tekken 7 was.
Apparently, but
There's things we'll talk about when we get to that. Because there's
yeah.
something that needs to be brought up, but we'll worry about that later. But right now, it's basically, I think, what I'm gathering from it, and anyone who knows more about the Tekken lore, please inform us. Jin
Yeah,
is trying
we're
to break
kind of
free of his bloodline.
yeah, we're kind of idiots when it comes to the Tekken lore because we're just like fun fighting game. Fight.
And this is the first time I'm super stoked for a Tekken game, and I want to go in on it. And
Same here. And I get the feeling that my friend Setsi is probably cringing at the fact that I'm not that knowledgeable on Tekken lore because she loves the series. I think As of the Ace is probably also cringing a little bit for the same reason.
I know
Shout out to both of
Sinister
those.
is also good on that too, but shout out to your guys.
Yeah, shout out to them. Both lovely lady content creators. Go and give them a follow on here and on Twitch. They stream a lot of stuff. They're super sweet.
And I know Sinister is like a guy I know. He likes Tekken, and I think he's actually been trying to collect a bunch of Tekken stuff. So like the Tekken games and Tekken arcade sticks. So he's the one I could go to for Tekken information.
Nice.
Also,
Also,
go on.
also Chameleon Storm, he is going to be joining us in the Tekken Madness.
So we'll have another name to add into the fray for this, so that'll be awesome.
Yes.
But going back to what we
Also,
were saying, go on.
also I'm game sharing with Godo, so he will be joining us too.
For Tekken, nice.
Yep.
But yeah, Kazuya and Jin, this is basically their I'm going to say their final bout
Yep.
because this
I
is
wonder if
decision
both of
time.
them I wonder if both of them will wind up dead in the end.
I don't think so. I don't think
Do you,
that's going to happen.
do you think one of them will be?
Yes, one is walking out of this alive, and I have a feeling it's going to be Jin.
Same here. Younger, they can do more with his story.
But there's also something else that ties into that, which we'll get into later with Reina.
Yep.
But Kazuya and Jin, so we knew they were going to make the cut.
Yeah, because
Obviously.
they also make up the core mechanics of Korean backdashing.
Mm-hmm. Next,
So,
King. Not
We
the
need
King
a
from King of
grappler.
Fighters.
We need a... The game needs a grappler. He's a grappler. I don't have much else to say on King.
He's a wrestler, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, King's a wrestler, but I know King has been a staple of the franchise. But
I
it's
will
always
say
there's
this.
various iterations of King, though. Like, it's still King, but it's someone else that's under the mask.
I will say this, though. King really shows off how beautiful the new engine is.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the better looking models, since the thing with at least the tech here, they've rebuilt pretty much everything from the ground up. And
I
it
believe
shows.
the game is using Unreal Engine 5, is it not?
Yes, and as far as I know, I think this is the first Unreal UE5 fighting game.
I think you're right on that particular one, because I know Street Fighter 6 used the RE engine.
Yep. Street Fighter 6 uses the RE engine, and King of Fighters 15 uses UE4.
Yep.
And so did Guilty Gear Strive.
Also, Soul Calibur 6 used Unreal Engine 4.
But the only thing we don't know, like at least for future fighting games, is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves gonna be running UE5 or UE4.
I'm gonna say it's going to run 5, because it looks that much sharper than King of Fighters.
That's possible, because that's what I was thinking too. Maybe we'll find out more of an SNK gives out more information. And also, Mortal Kombat 1 uses Unreal Engine 4.
And it's surprising how far they're pushing Unreal Engine 4 with Mortal Kombat 1. It looks good. It doesn't look as good as Tekken 8, though.
Yeah, because I think Tekken 8 is going to be a showpiece for the engine, since we're now starting to see more UE5 stuff come out on the market.
Yeah, and the thing is, fighting games back in the day, they were always engine showpieces.
Mm-hmm. Even though they were more 2D for pixel art and stuff, but when you got 3D, then things started to look impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we should continue with the roster. Like, the next one, at least this is the character I want to learn.
It's a character I want to learn too.
Yeah.
Jun is one that I'm really interested in.
Same with me, but also, like, considering her history, like, her return is a really big deal.
Yes, it is.
Because the last time, at least if what I remember reading from stuff correctly, last official appearance, at least story-wise, was Tekken 2. But the last game she was in was Tag Tournament 2. So the fact that she's now officially back in canon story and part of the roster, I hope they explain what happened.
They've already confirmed that they will. So, but I think that we are interested in her for a lot of the same reasons, but also maybe a few different ones. So name why you're kind of interested in Jun.
Selfish thing, she gives me the vibes of Chizuru from King of Fighters, and I love Chizuru from KOF.
Same here, but also she reminds me of Kokoro from Dead or Alive.
Mm-hmm. But her playstyle is a little bit odd, is that when you hit, like, some of the moves can take away from her health, but it looks like if you use the heat gauge, and you use, like, the heat, like, I believe is the heat smash attack, or the major heat attack, you can get that health back.
I'm guessing you want a heat smash Jun.
Not as much as you want to, though. You have to deal with Kazuya first, though, maybe.
He'd kill me, so not worth it.
Okay. But no, Jun is looking like a fun character to use. I just love her aesthetics and her style.
She is going to be a super
learning
advanced
curve, though.
I was just going to say that. I think she's going to be a high learning curve character. But you know what? It's funny that way because Vanessa, supposedly a high learning curve character, and look at how well I took to her, so...
I mean, Chizuru is kind of high as well, and you see how I play with her.
Yeah, your Chizuru scares me, dude.
We'll get back. We gotta play KOF again, though, at some point. but that's for another
Uh,
time.
we'll do it in 3 days' time when Hinako launches.
Hmm. But continuing with the
Because
roster. Oh, sorry.
because let's face it, we're both high strung. Fighting games are the way we get out of that high strungness.
They help a bit.
Yeah. So Paul's next. I
And
don't really have much to say on Paul. I've never been able to get on with him, and in the beta, I couldn't get on with him either. So he's kind of just a legacy character who's there to me.
he's a legacy character. I think he looks cool, and just seeing some of his damage output as well of what you can do. I think
Yep.
Paul could be interesting to use, especially with the factor in of the heat system. But that also ties to the next character too.
I think Paul's going to be dangerous. But
Mhm.
next up we have, which fucking law is it again? I always get the two confused.
I think this one's Martial.
I'm going to see.
No, no, it is Martial. That's right. I remember
Okay.
it now. This is Martial Law because there's also Forest Law, but Forest Law has not been revealed or announced for this. So this is Martial Law.
Yep.
I remember from the trailer. I
Okay,
did
well,
try Law though when I got to play the first closed network test.
I played him in both. I really like Law. I didn't like him in 7. I like him in 8.
Law looks like he could be fun, and I want to learn more of his playstyle because he seems a little bit more rushdown, but he
Yep.
has a good balance. I find.
Well, you know me. Rushdown characters are what I look for. So the
Mhm.
fact he's actually speedy and has good damage output, that makes me happy because I have noticed something. You've probably noticed that my community, your community, and a bunch of other people tease me over the fact that I play waifu characters.
Mhm.
The thing is, I have nothing against dude characters. It's just a case of most dude characters are slow and lumbering. That does not suit my playstyle.
And Law looks like he could break that trend. I think Jin could as well. Because the thing with Jin is that he seems a bit more of a parry character though.
Which is not really my style.
But Law could be the one that could be part of your playstyle.
Oh, I know that Law is going to be a character that I fuck around with because I was playing him in the beta and I was smiling and laughing the whole fucking time.
So Law is definitely a consideration.
Yeah, Law's a character I want to play as a lot because I was having fun, and that's something I can't say about a lot of modern fighters. I enjoy them, but I'm not always exactly having fun, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You're just playing it, but
Yeah.
there's no kind of enjoyment out of it.
Whereas King of Fighters, I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
But Tekken 8, fucking loving this game
This
from
could
what
be
I've
it.
played of it.
Yeah, and I need to play more because I need to see more of it too. But Law, I would say the same for me. I think Law looks like a fun character. He is kind of speedy, but I need to know his control and his spacing for him.
I will say this, he's an easy to intermediate character. That's what his role has always kind of been.
Mm-hmm.
He's an easy, beginner-friendly character with good buttons, so he can see higher level play.
I don't know if he would be high on the tier list though, but that's not something we're gonna
He's always
consider.
towards the upper tier, so.
Mm-hmm. But then
Next up,
the pros say we'll get their hands on it and be like, oh no, he sucks.
yeah.
But we'll find out when it gets to that. But anyway, continuing
Oh,
on.
definitely.
Jack,
Jack
8.
8, I have no excitement for this character.
He is new. He is technically a new. I put in quotations because there's always a new Jack for every installment. But it seems like this one, they're all built specifically for mechanics of the game.
Yep. And
Go on.
that's cool. That's cool, but like Jack is always a slow character, so slow character with grapples, not my thing.
Jack is more high damage, low speed, is what I get out of it. I did see Jack used during like those matches,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time he was getting his butt kicked.
Yep. I think that well, we'll get to that in the tiers.
Mm-hmm. And then, well, if we go next, Lars. Lars looks like he can wreck fools.
Which I know you're wanting to fuck around with Lars, and I can see why. Lars seems like he'll actually be fun. I didn't enjoy him very much in Tekken 7 because I felt his moveset was a little bit stiff,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like he flows better in 8, which is something I noticed in 8 in general from what I've played. Characters feel better.
Compared to what they were in, say, 7.
Yeah. It feels like Bandai Namco has removed a lot of the rigidity of Tekken.
Do you feel it's
Because
more free-flowing?
I feel it's more free-flowing. I feel like they've also smoothed out the animations. Not that they were jerky before, but there was something that felt wrong to me, and I can't quite place it. Don't get me wrong, I still love Tekken 7, and it feels good. It's just a fact that sometimes some moves will feel hitchy, and I can't explain why. I think it might be down to maybe the game having such strict timing, and I feel like the strict timing has maybe been slackened a little bit.
Just a little, you think?
Yeah, because it feels like comparing Dead or Alive 5 last round to Dead or Alive 6. Yes, Dead or Alive 6 runs at a higher frame rate because it does have 60 frame mode, but the thing is, Dead or Alive 6 feels slower and heavier. That's what Tekken 7 feels like to me. Whereas Tekken 8 feels lighter and quicker.
Which actually kind of ties into the next character that I want to bring up, Ling Xiaoyu.
Oh yeah.
Because I tried her. Again, most of these characters are all pretty much new to me for it. Because, like I said, I'd never dabbled. I only tinily dabbled with some of the other games. So I have almost no experience with it. But playing Xiaoyu actually felt like how you felt with Law. It felt fun.
Yeah, and I felt the same way with Ling in both 7 and in the 8 beta. I fucking love her as a character.
Yeah, she looks like she could be another one that's kind of pick up and play, but I just hope that when you do it, when you try her out, that's not it. Like there's more to her than just a pick up and play mechanic.
She has some pick up and play combo strings, but she is a very mix up heavy character. That is her gimmick. She is a fast, speedy mix up character.
So that should be fun to play with, though. Because, yeah, she did feel kind of like zooming around in the environment, at least with a little bit that I tried.
That is her gameplay in general, even in 7. That's her thing.
So I think, like, along with, say, Law and Jin, like, she'll be one of the first characters I want to try out.
Same here. She's maybe not going to be my main focus in the early stages.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to some of the characters that will be in a little bit. But yeah. I think it's time to move on to Nina.
And then Nina is just, like, with what I gather, I know she is a fan favorite.
She is.
She is a fan favorite, and I think she's the first one that I've seen, at least out of everyone on the roster that we've talked about right now, that plays with range.
June plays with range a little bit.
A bit, but she doesn't have projectiles.
She does.
Not as much as what I've seen. Like, they're more ground stuff. Like, Jun almost reminds me of Dulon a bit.
Fair enough. But Nina, she's attractive. She's my type. Just changed the hair to red, and yeah, really my type.
Nina could be cool, but she looks like she's gonna be more of a range character, if anything.
She is so fucking slow, man. I just can't.
You can't with her?
No.
She's not gonna be on your heavily played character list.
Too hard to handle.
I figure there's a way to use her. It's just more of like experimenting. I'd still want to give her a shot, but I don't think she's high on the list for me.
And I just know that she doesn't suit my playstyle, so I know that I'm just gonna drop her pretty quickly. Unless I get so heavily invested in Tekken 8 like I was with Dead or Alive 5, that I'm learning everything I can about the characters just for matchup purposes.
Mm-hmm. Which might be the thing for her.
Mm-hmm. She might just be gonna pick her up and learn some strings. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Leroy, I'm excited about.
This is interesting because he was debuted as a DLC character for Tekken 7, and now he's base roster. But this isn't the first time that we're gonna see that.
Which makes me sad that one of my mains in Tekken 7 was not base roster in this game. Because she was DLC in 7 as well, not in 8.
Who knows, maybe later down the line, but Leroy actually looks like he can do some damage. Especially seeing some stuff I saw from some previous Tekken finals.
Mm-hmm.
Leroy looks like he's got a good mix-up of things.
That's what he kind of is. He's kind of like a does-it-all character. But he's fun to play.
And he's also got the best, like... I'm going to use the term wrong, but he's got the best drip.
John, I'm sending you to the corner.
Yeah, go shut up. Yeah, no, to me, like, he's got the best drip. He's got the best style, at least what I've seen in the roster up to this point. He looks the best.
He looks good, but I think the next character is better looking.
Which... Yes,
that was a double entendre, but we're not getting to her yet.
We're going to get there in a minute. But no, Leroy looks like fun, and he's also got a dog.
Yep, and the dog is called Pepper, correct?
I think so. I'm gonna take a look for you.
Yay, silence!
No. No, Sugar, I thought it was.
Right, it is Sugar. I just clicked on his profile.
Yeah, I thought it was Sugar. Yeah, it is.
Well, that ties into another character we'll be covering in a little bit, but
But no,
we'll get to that.
Leroy I want to take a look at for sure.
I like him in Tekken 7. Next time we play Tekken, pick him for a bit.
I think I have him. I'd have to take a look again. But
Yeah.
next character.
Asuka. Basically, one of my waifus on this one.
I know you said I should try her out, though.
You should. She's kind of she's known as a grappler, but you've noticed that I play her not so much that way.
I don't know, when I saw her, like, because when I played the beta, when I was playing as Xiao Yu, I went up against an Asuka, and Asuka seems more of a striker.
She is an 8, but, like, traditionally she's always been kind of a grappler-striker hybrid, with most people playing her as a grappler more than a striker.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Tekken 8, because the thing is, her moveset was based off Jun. She was literally a one-for-one replacement of Jun at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Hitomi was a one-for-one replacement for Ein in Dead or Alive.
But then they included Ein in the roster for a bit.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's still the same moveset. It's just, it does different damage and has some different properties.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
But the same character. Just reskinned, more or less.
Yeah, and also I don't think Asuka uses, like, light powers like Jun does.
At least not as far as we've seen yet.
Unless it's something that's unlocked in story, but who knows.
Yeah. But anyways,
She could be
Asuka's
fun.
kind
I'd
of
like to give it a shot.
I would say, whenever you get the chance to play me in Tekken next, pick her. Just fuck around.
See what she's about, because she is base roster, I think, in Tekken 7, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
She was in Tekken
Yes,
6, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. But she is the first character in Tekken that I kind of gelled with.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea who I was gonna like play, and basically my friend said Asuka's boring, for whatever reason. Someone made him play Asuka in one of my streams, and then I kind of saw her and I'm like, okay, she's kind of cute. Picked her just for that reason.
And now look.
Yeah, wound up being a good fit for me playstyle wise.
Yeah, because again, I think I can see like the resemblances to Hitomi, for example.
And not so similar to
not
Hitomi.
Exactly. But not exactly. There are some similarities.
What similarities are you seeing?
Like I said, as a striker, but also with movement.
Okay, I get where you're going. In that sense, a little bit similar, but not quite.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to the next one, though, Lily.
Who happens to be Asuka's rival.
Yeah, but here's the fun fact. They were a team, I think, in Tag Tournament 2.
Well, it's kind of like Kasumi and Ayane in Dead or Alive. Rivals that just team up for whatever reason.
Just like Kyo and Iori.
Yep.
Lily looks like she has good range for her stuff.
She's got okay range. She's nothing special in that department.
Mm-hmm.
Just some of her kicks have properties that make her move.
Which, there's another kicking character we're gonna get to that I have some feelings on.
I think we both do.
Mm-hmm. But Lily,
anyway.
Lily looks like she could be okay. Also, I know she's a big fan of T.
Yes, I actually love Lily in terms of how she plays.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know me, I love me my speedy mix-up characters.
And Lily fits that bill for you.
That is literally her MO.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I don't play Lily more often in 7 is because her string combos are so tight. Also, the fact that her damage output is fucking minuscule.
Because that's actually something I've seen that's a little bit common in Tekken 8 with all the characters, is that damage seems pretty damn good across the board. Even for ones that are kind of weak, they still do well.
Which is why I'm really loving Tekken 8, because it feels like an older fighting game.
Maybe that's part of the design.
Yeah, like it's literally like, oh, remember the arcade scene when games actually had crazy damage output? Yeah, we're bringing that back.
We'll have to see if that follows through, or if there's going to be some major balance changes that will happen, and power shifts.
I think some of that will happen, but I don't think it's going to be too major. I think that they know what they want Tekken 8 to be, and they want it to be insane damage.
Which kind of ties into the next character.
Brian.
Yeah. What exactly is Brian?
Mr. Angie. That's all I can say.
He does speak, right?
I don't even know. Brian scares me, truth be told.
Yeah, but Brian looks like a high damage output too. Like when I was also watching those Tekken 8 matches,
Mm-hmm.
He can be dangerous. And I think there was also a move called Snake Eyes that you can, like, I guess, charge up, or you have to pull an input for it, and then you can use it in an attack, and it changes the properties and can do more damage.
Yep, they
Brian
did
looks like a
mention that.
speed freak. A speed freak
He
and a high damage freak. If you can combine those.
he wasn't that speedy in 7, so I can't comment on that, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find his moves to come out very quickly.
Yeah, so I'm curious, like Brian, like after watching those matches, he's kind of shot his way up on the list a bit now.
He hasn't really for me, but
Hmm.
Asuka, Lily, I know those two are going to be heavy rotation for me.
And then there's the next character, which I apparently I have heard people have problems with.
He is fucking broken in the beta.
Yeah, I tried Huarang, and I do like him. He is good. I do like my Taekwondo characters. Like I like Kim,
Yep.
and you can see how I'm all right with Kim.
Yep. And the thing is, Huarang, I had fun with.
Hmm.
Again, like Law, another character that I had fun with. Actually, I had fun with all of the characters, even the ones I didn't like so much.
But there's a thing with Huarang is that like he is kicks, he is mostly kicks and stuff with some jabs, but his range is ridiculous. Like,
It is.
and
I think that
that's something that
I
kind of
think
scares me with him.
I think he's going to be first to get nerfed, or one of.
One of them, or just like reduce the range a bit.
I think they'll probably reduce his frames, not reduce the range.
Hmm.
Because if you go into training mode with him, so many of his moves are plus.
Unless he's meant to be like Xiao Yu and Law, where he is pick up and play and meant for new players.
Could be, but usually new characters designed for beginners, they typically don't have the best buttons and they don't have the best frames. They just have easy combos to learn.
And that's what I found with Huarang a bit. He has some pretty easy strings.
Hmm. But like I said, he's also plus on almost everything.
So who knows? That could be changed. But we'll have to see when that
Hmm.
comes out. But he's definitely someone I want to figure out a little more because like I like Kim in KOF and Huarang kind of fits that bill.
We both like Kim, so I will be playing Huarang a little bit. I don't think he'll see as much play from me as Lily or Asuka, or even some of the other characters we're going to be discussing in a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think he's a good addition to the roster.
And he's also kind of a staple too, so it makes sense to keep him there. The next one though.
Claudio, I don't know what to think of him. I didn't like him in 7, so
Was he
I'm
new in
kind of
7?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can look that up though real quick.
Claudio actually he seems like an interesting character. I saw like when you mix him up with the heat like when you have heat activated for him, he almost seems kind of insane with his damage or his higher priorities.
Mhm. I had noticed that.
So, I'm curious about Claudio. I don't think he's going to be high on the list for me to try, but he's definitely someone I would want to experiment with.
He was originally introduced in Tekken 7.
Okay, so he was a new character for 7 then.
Yep.
So, okay, that's cool. So we have another character from 7 that's making their way into 8. Claudio could be cool.
And
I want to see more
yep.
though.
Yep. I don't think I'll use him much. I'll probably just fuck around with him a little bit, see what he's about. And if I like him, I'll use him some more, but not too jazzed either way.
But I feel like he could be a threat. I don't know how big he was in Tekken 7.
Me either, but I was very late to Tekken 7, so next up, first new character.
Second new character.
Who was the
Jack 8.
first? Okay, fuck Jack 8, he doesn't count.
Okay, fine. If you're gonna go with that fucking logic.
Well, he's just a rebuilt Jack 7, if we're going to be perfectly honest.
Essentially, isn't that the case with all of the Tekkens, though?
Yes.
Like Jack 5,
Yes.
Jack 6. But here's the thing with Jack 8. I just realized if you say it fast, you could call him a jacket.
Or a jack off.
Which is what you do, maybe.
But we definitely know that some people are going to be doing that to this next character.
I don't know. But I do like this character. I never got to try her out too much, though, Azucena, by the way.
I love Azucena from what I've played.
I think I tried like one match with her, but that's it. But I want to figure her out. She looks like a lot of fun. I love her personality.
I love her personality too. I also love her playstyle
Hmm.
because it's very aggressive. That's one thing I noticed.
She's also very dodge heavy too.
Yep, and stance heavy, as we
Hmm.
saw with the dude.
Yeah, as we saw, yeah, with Arslan Ash, he just
Yep,
3-0'd all of his opponents that he fought. So
yeah.
I
But
think she's gonna be
Azucena,
high on the list.
probably, but who knows? It's so fresh at this point, like her coffee, that I can't say one way or the other quite yet.
I will say if they do release a coffee flavor that's from the game that she actually makes in the game, I would try
Hmm. Me too. And I'd also get a bag just for collection purposes.
it. That's true. That would also be something as well. But no, as a CNS, she looks like a lot of fun. I definitely want to give her a run.
She was very fun, and the thing is, I noticed some of her moves are actually one for one copies of Vanessa's moveset from King of Fighters.
A little bit, but there's another character on this list that I think we should talk about that kind of fits Vanessa a little more, at least in my eyes. But if
We'll
you've
talk
tried
about
them,
them. We'll talk about them later.
yeah, when we
Because
get there. But no, as for
yep,
her, the as a new character for the Tekken franchise, she she became an immediate hit.
yep.
But that's not the only new character that became an instant hit.
No, but we're talking about him in a bit.
We're gonna talk about we'll talk about the others shortly when we get there.
Yep.
But as for her, like this was a as for Azucena, this was a welcome surprise. I'm in love with this.
Same, same, and I cannot wait. I think she's going to be obnoxious at first, but once people learn what she's about, she might slip down to mid tier. We'll see.
We'll have to see as time goes on.
Raven is next. He's a fan favorite from a previous game. I don't know much about him. Can't say I'm all that interested, even though he's got lots of things that I would normally look for in a character. There's just something about Raven that doesn't jive with me, and I think it's just his overly designed aesthetic.
Are you going to say it's the tattoos?
No,
Okay, good.
it just feels like there's way too much going on with him as a character.
But that also ties in with one of the other new characters. It almost seems like there's too much going on in terms of design. But in terms of his play style, though, I like the idea of shadows.
As do I. So I will fuck around with Raven every
Mhm.
once in a while. I'll see if he clicks with me. He might. And in case he does, I might use him.
Uh,
But from a design perspective, he doesn't do much for me.
Design wise, yeah, you could maybe have your questions with it. Gameplay wise, like I'm saying, especially with the use of heat, like because I did see Raven use during some of those matches as well. When
And
you
it was very
activate heat,
efficient.
very efficient, and it changes him up.
Yep.
I'm like, this could be interesting.
It
Raven is definitely
definitely
someone I want
could.
to take a look at, though.
Understandable. Next up is Leo.
I know nothing about Leo.
I know that apparently they are a non binary character, according to one of my friends who is very into Tekken lore.
Mm-hmm.
So, representation. Nice.
I mean, he could. Okay, they, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get it right. Leo could be an interesting character, but I'm going to wait and see on his on their trailer reveal. Sorry,
Yep.
because one thing that was also announced during the Tekken 8 talk was there's no trailers for Leo, Steve, Kuma, Yoshimitsu, Shine, Dragonov, Panda, Lee, Alisa, Zafina, and Devil Jin. We're gonna get to all those characters, but there are no trailers revealed for these guys yet, and that's gonna be happening because that probably
Which
will be
is
my first look at how a lot of these characters play.
Mm-hmm. I did play Leo a little bit in Tekken 7.
Hmm.
They kind of seemed like a rushdown character, but I didn't play them long enough to actually figure that out.
So yeah, no, I'm
They
gonna
just
reserve judgment
they
until
just
that trailer.
just in Tekken 7 they had the typical rushdown character buttons. So I'd say safe to assume rushdown character.
Safe to assume for that.
Yeah. Steve, I know is a fan favorite. Eh.
Steve, I'm interested in because Steve is a boxer. I think I did try him out in like a training mode in Tekken 7 just for a moment, and Steve gives me Vanessa vibes from King of Fighters.
I can see it. I just don't like his design.
Is it the slick hair?
No, I can't tell you what it is about Steve that just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
It's kind of generic, but kind of not.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the aesthetics for a fighter matter if you're going to play them or not.
Sometimes it does. I know that can be a factor. Like, at least if you're gonna talk like standard design, maybe the standard design for Steve seems a little bit generic.
Yep.
But I mean, all these characters, which we never mentioned yet, they all have at least alternative colors and outfits.
Yep. Maybe he'll have something that's nice.
So that is possible for Steve. We'll have to find out. But
Yep.
The brief thing stint I had, I think he could be interesting. I do like how he feels in terms of movement, though.
I will try him out next time I boot up Tekken 7.
Next one is another fan favorite.
Kuma,
One of two
not a character
animal favorites. Sorry.
Not a character I like. Don't like grapplers. Don't like slow grapplers. Not for me.
I was just gonna say, do you not like bears?
I could make a joke there, but I think that would get me kicked off the platform.
It depends on how bad you go with it. But anyway, Kuma, I've heard he's a fan favorite. I'm curious. Yep. I'll give it a shot, though. There's not much I can say.
Basically standard grappler. Slow, bad buttons, high damage.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Jack.
Yep.
Yoshimitsu. He's always got apparently cool designs.
I like this design. It kind of gives me horror alien vibes.
Probably space assassin ninja. That's what I get.
Yep. And I like that. It looks cool. Yoshimitsu's always fun to play in Soul Calibur and Tekken.
And you don't expect anything different from him here?
Nope. I think he's just going to be a cool character to play.
Mm-hmm.
Shaheen is up next. Oh, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say, let's go to Shaheen next, because I'm curious about this one.
Okay, what are you curious about?
Like, just reading at least a little bit about him, he excels in close quarter combat, and I think he's the first Saudi Arabian character in the franchise.
He might be.
I could be wrong.
I have played a little bit of him in Tekken 7.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the few grapplers I kind of like, because his speed is kind of comparable to Blue Mary, a little bit slower, but general ballpark, if you wanted an idea.
Mm-hmm.
But he's grappler. Idea. He's more grapple focused than she is.
He's in Tekken 7 though, right?
Yeah, okay. I just said that.
No, I missed that part for a second. So I would want to give him a shot first, see what he's about. But I mean, it sounds interesting to me. Definitely one I would want to experiment with.
Think kind of Blue Mary-ish, but less strike focused and more grapple focused.
Is it also like chaining with the moves like you could do with Blue Mary?
Kind of.
Okay.
That's his general vibe. He's a slower, less cool Blue Mary.
Careful, you could piss somebody off with that comment.
I don't care.
I know. I'm just saying. Dragunov. I do remember hearing something about this guy where when Tekken 7, at least arcade, around that time, it was basically he ruled Tekken 7.
Mm-hmm.
What is he exactly?
I have no idea. I tried him in 7, couldn't figure out what he was about.
I do think he looks menacing, though. He just seems very dead, though.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I don't think... I think that might have been intentional.
I think it was.
I'm not 100% sure on this. But he could be an interesting character. I want to see more on him.
I just know that if he plays anything like his Tekken 7 self, I'm just going to not use him.
You're just going to skip him?
Yeah, because not fun to play for me at all.
Mm-hmm. Definitely someone I want to experiment with, though.
Fang looks really interesting from what I've seen of him from the footage that we saw tonight.
Yeah, Fang seems very high damage.
He kind of reminds me of Christy from Dead or Alive, just better damage.
Plus his Rage Art, I think, is a dragon.
I did notice that.
And I'm like, okay, I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in that. But no, Fang could be fun. I think Fang could be interesting.
Fan, fun, fuck.
The FFFs?
Yep.
Is that where you're going with this?
I have no clue. I just said random shit because my brain had verbal diarrhea.
Okay, fair enough. But no, Fang, he looked like fun. He seems like he could have a high skill ceiling, though. Same thing with, like, say, Dragunov, for example.
Yep. I think that Fang could be a little bit complex, but I also think that intermediate players could pick him up rather easily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know though.
Then we have the
So
other animal on the team.
Panda.
And
Cute.
Panda's adorable.
Yep.
But I'm also
But
told Panda's another fan favorite.
Panda is. I have no real knowledge on Panda beyond that they are a fan favorite.
Again, like Kuma, give it a shot.
Yeah, probably a grappler is what I'm imagining.
Probably, or it's just more like high maneuverability. I don't know why I'm getting that just by looking. I figure they're going to be able to have good maneuverability and can be pretty good with damage.
I don't have any real knowledge on Lee.
I know someone I know on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They are a fan of Lee.
Nice.
And Lee looks like an assassin of sorts. But it's also like during his trailer, he reminded his grenade that he used is like the robot head from the training dummy in Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
I remember someone mentioning that in a video.
So I can't say much on Lee, but again, I'd like to give him a shot.
I'll give Lee a shot. Don't know if I'll use him very much, but
who knows?
I actually like the design.
Yeah. It seems cool, but I honestly, his design though almost gives me Ravens, but with a mix of Jack 8.
See, Lee seems toned down enough that the design elements I didn't like in Raven, I like here.
You like them on Lee more than Raven.
Yeah, because they seem toned down just enough that yeah, it's over the fucking top, but at least the over the top design doesn't feel out of place.
Mm-hmm.
It feels fitting. Whereas with Raven, it's like, okay, idea vomit, there's your character.
Which we're gonna get to a character about that soon, at least for me.
Okay.
Your favorite is next.
One of, yes. Elisa.
Which I know was introduced in Tekken 6 because I know her and Lars teamed up in scenario campaign mode. But it's also Chainsaw Lady.
All I can say is Chainsaw Lady beautiful.
Just don't get hit by those chainsaws yourself. I never really got a chance to play her, but you probably have tried her out in Tekken 7 is what I'm guessing.
I've played a lot of her in Tekken 7.
She's your
fucking
character?
She's not my main. That kind of shifts between her, Asuka, and a character that we will discuss for potential DLC. I'm gonna tease you guys a little bit.
Yeah, because we'll come up with an idea list of what could be for DLC, but no. Elisa could be cool. I know she was interesting to play in scenario campaign mode when I tried her in Tekken 6. But that's really all
played her in 6. I haven't played her in 6, so tell me a bit about her in that particular game.
Well, I can't say because I didn't do too much of the fighting, of like the one-on-one fighting. The scenario campaign was their story mode. So it played like a brawler a bit, but I thought she was pretty fun.
She is fucking fun in Tekken 7. She's fast, she has good damage output, and her strings just flow in a manner that makes sense.
For you, at least, that fits your style.
Yeah. The thing is, she takes a little bit of moves from Vanessa in terms of inputs, and she has a couple of inputs that are similar to Hitomi, so it's kind of like a sweet spot for me.
Fair.
And the fact that she has high maneuverability.
Yeah, that's definitely something she has.
Basically, it's everything I'm looking for in a character. She's got good mix-ups, she's got good buttons that are comfortable for me to input, and she has a high skill ceiling, so she is a bit advanced, but the thing is, she's just beginner-friendly enough that you can pick up and play.
It might be one I would want to take a look into.
I would say give her a shot.
See how it is, since I haven't...
When do you want to play Tekken 7?
Whenever I can get the time.
Honestly, next week, let's just do a co-stream together of Tekken 7.
I can figure out... No, we can't.
Why not?
KOF?
I said next week.
Maybe. I have to see, because next week's going to be a hectic week. We'll figure out something for that.
Okay, 2 weeks from now.
Again, maybe I have to find out what's going on.
Okay. But I know that this is one of your waifus next, so...
Yeah, no, this character, like... I saw her in Tekken 7, and I just loved her design. And I think she looks even better now in Tekken 8.
Yeah, I agree. She has a nice design.
Zafina looks awesome. I did try her a tiny bit, and I can get on with her style. I just have to figure out how she works, because she uses stances, at least what I could gather.
Yeah, she does.
And it's the thing I have with stance characters is that I have to figure out, like, okay, you're in the stance. How do you get out of it without getting hit, or how can you chain it into going back into her base stance or something? Because she's kind of like Mei Lee, I find in that
Yep.
sense.
You've probably noticed I love stance characters.
So, would Zafina be up your alley though?
If she had more speed, yeah.
Which, who knows? Maybe they've done that for her in Tekken 8.
I'm gonna play around with her
Mm-hmm.
because I love her design and I love stance characters, so I'm willing to give her a shot.
Yeah.
But she was just too slow for me in Tekken 7.
For me, she'll probably be one of the first I go to, for sure,
Mm-hmm.
on this list. So, because I did appreciate what I tried of her in a little bit in Tekken 7, so I want to try her out some more.
Okay, next up, Devil Jin.
And I had one question when I saw Devil Jin.
What was that?
Is Devil Jin going to be a main part of the story? And how can you do a Jin versus Devil Jin? How is that going to work?
You could do it, fuck, I can't say. Fuck. Let's just say in Cold... Oh, wait, you've played Cold Steel 4, haven't you?
No.
Okay, you would figure it out anyways because you played Reverie, so fuck it. There's a segment in Cold Steel 4 where Reen fights a illusion of himself, in a manner of speaking.
That would make sense, though.
Basically, it's a fight between him and Cassius Bright, but in Reen's mind, it's Reen versus evil Reen.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they could just have Jin hallucinate another character as Devil Jin. There you fucking go.
That, or what if you could go another extreme with it? Like, because I know Jin has the devil gene in him.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Crazy theory. What if they could just extract the devil gene out of Jin, and that way Devil Jin can just exist on his own?
Honestly, Tekken's so over the top, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the direction they go.
If they could do that, but I know Devil Jin. What I've seen of him, he seems a big on range,
Yep, he was big on range in 7.
and that's probably going to carry over to Tekken 8. You think?
I think so. I think that's part of his core moveset. If you remove that, you kind of have changed the character.
Completely, like just remove his wings, basically, right?
Yep. Basically, they would just have to like make a whole brand new character at that point in time. So next up,
I don't know how he's going to be, but I think I would give him a shot. I'd probably pick Jin first over Devil Jin right now.
I'm not going to play Devil Jin that much because he's so fucking slow in previous entries.
But is he high damage?
Sort of. It's not that high, but it's middling.
Okay.
He doesn't feel good to me, so I'm hesitant to play him in 8.
Well, we'll have to see how he is. Like, I want to give him a shot just for experimentation.
Like I said, I'm going to give all of the characters their fair due. I'm just giving my kind of general... Yeah, I'm probably not going to play some of these characters just because they don't suit my style typically.
Mm-hmm. But now these last two, though, which
Victor.
are both new characters.
Yep.
But let's start with Victor Chevalier from France.
I really like him.
You were talking about kind of like over-designing of a character like Raven.
Yeah.
When I first saw Victor, that's kind of one thing that came to mind. I think Victor kind of has almost too much shit on him that he's carrying. But the thing that saves at least this design is that he's got a nice suit.
See, I think that he's not too over-designed. He literally is pretty conservative looking.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you've got the aviators, which are a standard tough guy motif at this point in time. You got the well-tailored suit, so like James Bond, John Wick.
Especially how he uses his gun, because he also seems... This guy gives me Nina vibes as well, because he's the only other character I know of right now that has a gun.
Yeah, well,
That's
Jack
part
8,
of gameplay.
Jack 8.
Would you count a railgun?
It's a gun. It counts.
Yeah, but it's not as compact as a pistol.
It still counts.
Well, I guess if we want to talk other weapons, he does use a sword, which I think is kind of neat.
Yep. You know what? I'm gonna be perfectly honest. If they added Reen into this fighting game, I would love to see him wearing Victor's clothing.
Reen wear Victor's outfit.
Yeah.
Also,
I can see it fitting.
It could work. I don't see that being a problem. I would say, at least in terms of Victor's gameplay, though, he's very much about controlling space.
Yep. Also, a lot of other creators have pointed this out. He seems to have inherited a lot of Noctis's moveset from Tekken 7.
What if this is their answer to Noctis?
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I know they've been trying to get somebody from, like, the developers have been trying to get somebody from France in the game for a while now. And they finally got it done.
Yep, which
And
is pretty cool.
Victor seems to at least live up to that expectation. I think Victor will be fun, but I have a feeling Victor's going to be a difficult character to learn.
Probably, but he might be one of those fun, difficult characters that you don't care that you're getting your ass kicked because you're getting your ass beat.
Mm-hmm.
You're just having fun learning.
With him, yeah. Because I'd be curious to see how he plays and how you can mix up that stuff, like his styles, like with his sword and his gun, and then mixing up with his dashes.
Yep.
Because, yeah, he could be a problem.
Definitely. And he seems fast, unlike Nina.
Mm-hmm.
Which is surprising, because he's an old fucking geezer.
There was something I think I saw with him. I'm just trying to remember what it was again. But I think him and Raven have things in common.
They do, because he's he's the person who created the Raven unit.
So, he's basically the head of that.
Yes. Also, I've heard rumors that lore-wise he is like supposed to be the original Raven or something ridiculous like that, so it might just be a code name.
But I wonder how they're going to work that into the story.
We'll find out in January.
And then, what was revealed...
Which, as you know, I was getting fucking antsy about this one.
Yes, you were. Because it'd be like, just show the character. But it's like, no. They have to do their spiel. They have to do their stuff. Because they know that's what people are there for. If you know how marketing is, they gotta get all the boring stuff out of the way. And then... But to be fair, a lot of that stuff wasn't boring on that stream. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy watching that.
I enjoyed it too, but the thing is, I wanted to get to work on this podcast. I wanted to get to work on other stuff, which I didn't wind up doing. Managed to get 2 podcasts in, so that's fine. But basically, it was like, come on, I want to fucking work.
Be like, yeah, no, we don't follow your fucking time schedule. We follow our own, so deal with it.
Yeah.
It was either that or we could go to sleep and then do this the next day, but no, we're doing it now. Yes. But Reina.
So, Reina.
Final character.
I love her design, and I think I'm going to use her a lot.
Yeah, because and they even mentioned it during the stream, like the idea of duality, which is what Reina is. Because that even goes with her color scheme.
Okay, explain, because I missed that part.
Yeah, because it's the idea of duality, so in terms of like her color scheme, because it's both purple and black.
Yep.
But also kind of her fighting style as well, where it seems like a type of martial arts that is used. I know it was mentioned during the stream, but I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But you have like this martial arts style, but then you also have this kind of sadistic side.
Yep.
Where she just will pounce and just go for the kill, and doesn't matter what kind of a mess she leaves.
I did notice this, or at least I thought this when I was initially watching the video before we hopped into the pod. She kind of reminds me of Yuri, or Juri, however the fuck you say her name, from Street Fighter. Yeah.
She does kind of give off those vibes.
Just in terms of design, not gameplay-wise.
But she's not as extreme, I would say, as Juri. Which I am okay with.
Same.
Which I am okay with, but she is very important in this game.
But I will say this. Falcom, they probably have some words for Bandai Namco.
Bandai will probably bury them.
Maybe, but I get the feeling that it's going to be a what the fuck situation, because they literally have a character who's codenamed the Purple Lightning before Bandai.
So who knows? That could be an issue, but we'll have to find out for that. But that's a future thing. But no, in terms of Reina herself, though...
Let me just go down my little rabbit hole first. Maybe they asked Falcom permission, because we all know that Japanese studios tend to have drinking buddies. But that's all I wanted to say.
Unless it could be like their nod or reference to Trails.
Yeah, which would be nice either way, but it was like, when I saw that, I was like, fuck, they stole Sarah Valentine's name.
Or just like, isn't that her title, the Purple Lightning?
Yeah, that's her title.
Yeah, but it's not a similar character in the same way or anything, so who knows?
Yeah, no, it's just something I wanted to mention, because Trails nerd.
Mm-hmm. But Reina is going to factor into the story because you watch the trailer.
Yes.
She knows Jin. She knows Kazuya.
Yep. And she also has the Mishima name.
Yep, which they was not said during the trailer, but apparently fans have picked up on that.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if Heihachi had another little bastard.
So, and Reina is that.
Yeah.
So Reina could be the one that continues Heihachi's legacy.
Maybe. Maybe it was Heihachi and hooking up.
Be like, oh, that's just weird, but I could
And
see
it could
that.
explain the disappearance.
It could explain the disappearance. But I imagine she's gonna have like Reina will have special intros. Not like what we just saw for Jin and Kazuya. If Jun is a special intro, there's things that need to be explained here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But in terms of her playstyle, at least what I saw of that trailer, I love it.
I love it too. It's very aggressive. It's very in your face.
Could she be the female version of Hwarang? Just with
Possibly.
fists?
Possibly. Oh god, I almost made a joke that would have got me kicked off this platform. Again.
It's not like the first time you've done something like that.
No. Oh god, we know where my brain's going tonight.
But yeah, Reina's is definitely high on the list. Like at least between the four new characters that are introduced into them, I would say at least if you're not gonna count Jack 8 then because you don't want to.
I mean, he's just a reskin.
Even though he's considered, I guess, somewhat new. Fine, we'll go with the three new characters. At least with these three new characters on the base roster,
Yeah.
they're all winners to me.
Same.
I like all of them. Like I said, the only one that I maybe questioned a bit was Victor, just because I thought he seemed a little over-designed. But
Yeah.
in terms of these three, they do bring something new to the table, and they look like a lot of fun to use. And I think we're going to be seeing them quite a bit more. I hope this isn't the only entry that they're locked to.
Yep. Same here. So, do you want to discuss the characters we know we're going to use in our rotation since we've broken down the roster?
Let's say pick 4.
Okay. I was going to go with 5, but let's just go 5.
Okay.
Jun, Law, Asuka, Lily, Elisa, with Azucena being a mix-up when I'm feeling like it.
For me, Jun, Xiaoyu, Azucena, Zafina, and Law. But that's
great picks.
Those are tough picks though, because there are other ones I'm just thinking of. But these are just like initial picks here. These will probably change when we play.
And we can do another podcast when the game actually launches and discuss who we're liking, who we're not liking, what our mains are looking like.
Yeah, because with these picks, we could say, oh hey, I like Law, or I want to go with Xiaoyu, but these are not working for what I want, so we'd have to switch them out. But at least those would be some of the initial ones. But I do definitely want to give I think Azucena will probably be the first one on my list for trying for new characters.
I bet you're surprised that I went with the 3 characters that I really know well.
Well, you're sticking with standbys that you know, so
yeah. But I bet you're surprised to a degree about that.
Maybe a little bit, but
the thing is, that's what I do in fighting games. Every time a new one releases in a favorite franchise, I stick with who I know, and I see what they can do with the new systems.
And sometimes at launch, right?
Sorry?
And sometimes at launch, it may not be that great.
Yeah. It's just that's what I do, because I feel like the familiarity means I can kind of get to grips with the system against the AI and not have to fuck around in training mode for a couple hours, which I find exceedingly boring to do initially.
You're not one that has fun messing around in training mode?
I have fun in training mode and messing around in it, but I have to, figure out the game first, see what it has in terms of, feel against an actual AI, and then go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit different from most people. I realize that, but that's how I get comfortable in fighting games, is I figure out what I can potentially do in the system by just jumping in. And then if I find I'm struggling with a particular mechanic, I go and practice that specific thing in training mode.
Whereas I'm going to find with this is I'm just going to try and go in with little to no knowledge. But if I had to pick the ones for familiarity here that I would carry over, at least with my list, it would just be Zafina.
Fair enough. I'll mention my list of unknowns then, real quick. Zhao Yu, Azucena, Victor, and New Girl.
Reina?
Yeah. I want to keep calling her Rain for some reason.
For me, the whole roster, even the ones that I picked, they're all going to be kind of unknowns, but they're all going to be
Hmm.
with the experimentation. Like, the new characters, especially, are the biggest unknowns here, but.
Yep.
Because who knows, like,
January
even.
26th can't come soon enough.
Well, it's just. Yeah, it's not that long. It's like 2 months.
Yep. It's not a painful wait, really.
Yeah, compared to, say, some other things,
Yeah. Like having to wait until probably June or July for Trails.
that's kind of painful.
Yep.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at the end of February.
2024 is a stacked fucking year.
Yeah,
This
like,
year was fucking stacked. Holy shit, like we're getting some of the best games ever.
we've gotten some good titles, but it looks like the trend will continue into next year. Because, again, there's probably going to be
2020
things that we don't even know about.
I can say that that is definitely the case.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying how or why I know this, but I know things. I don't drink, but I know things.
He sleeps around.
Fuck you.
Didn't you say you're the horny one?
Yes,
I'm just playing into your hand, man.
I know, and I'm saying fuck you because it's the banter.
I know. But no, there are things next year I'm curious about. Like, even there are other things I've seen, like, say, for your Kickstarter, that I'm hoping will come out.
I haven't really focused on the Kickstarter side, so you can link me to some stuff that you think I might be interested in.
Well,
I'd
yeah,
be down for
I
that.
have to recatch up with what I've gotten on there, but there next year's going to be interesting. And again, with the surprises that we don't even know what's coming, and who knows, there could even be shadow drops.
Yep. I bet there will be a lot of shadow drops.
There's going to be quite a
Anyways,
few.
anyways, let's move on to Season 1 DLC, because we know we're definitely getting that.
Yeah, you know that's happening.
I feel like the roster as a whole is pretty well balanced, which is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
because it's unlike Street Fighter 6, which felt very Shoto heavy.
It was also pretty light.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just going to take a chance to dunk on that game every chance I get.
Of course you will. But yeah, no, like, at least roster wise, if you're gonna talk out of the gate, the roster here is actually looking pretty good. It
Mm-hmm.
does rely heavily on legacy.
Which that has me a little bit concerned, but we will see how things shape out with Season 1's DLC.
Which I imagine there's going to be probably, I want to guess 4 fighters.
I'm going to guess probably 5.
Yeah, because we know they're very inconsistent when it comes to who's on the roster or like their
Mm-hmm.
season passes, right?
Yeah. But who's someone you want to see included?
If you want to talk legacy characters,
Yes.
I guess just looking around, like with a little bit that I know, I want to see Christy.
Okay, I don't know Christy at all, so fill me in.
She's a capoeira fighter,
That sounds fun.
kind of like Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
I tried her a little bit in Tekken 6, and I really liked her.
I have not played Tekken 6, so I
Hmm.
can't comment on that. And I don't think she was in 7.
She wasn't in 7, yeah, because that was something I was a little bit upset with. She didn't make it into that game. The last one, at least, game that she was in was Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Gotcha.
But at least playable, like, at least if you're talking main story stuff, it was definitely Tekken 6.
Mm-hmm.
What's one for you?
Lydia.
Ah, yes, the other one of the other new characters for Tekken 7.
Yeah. And she fits me to a T
Why is that?
because she is a karate user, and guess what? She is literally reverse Lydia. I mean, reverse Hitomi in terms of how she plays button wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting tired now, so my brain is fucking up.
Well, to be fair, we are doing this pretty late, so...
Yes, it's 3:05 in the morning for me.
Mm-hmm. So that kind of makes sense why it might seem a little bit off. But
Yeah.
here's one question when it comes for DLC. Not just for Season 1 of Tekken 8, but let's just say the rest of DLC in the future. Should there be guest characters?
I think so. What about you?
Yeah, I would say there should be. But I'd say don't go too insane, or have it make sense.
Who would you say would make sense?
If I wanted somebody on the roster,
Yep.
you know I like my Taekwondo. Give me Kim Cap one, or
That
no,
would be fun.
no. I take that back. This is gonna be a cop out answer. Give me Terry Bogard.
That would be fun.
Because you had Geese in Tekken 7.
Yep.
So I would say that would probably be one of my picks.
Yep. I would love to see Vanessa, but that's just because I really love that character. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
John.
For introducing you to Kale.
Yes, but also specifically to that character because you said you liked that MILF, and me likey that MILF too.
Yeah, she is still a good character. She is definitely someone I would like, because if they could do some King of Fighters characters, that would be neat.
I'd also like to see Hitomi and Kokoro from Dead or Alive.
Mm-hmm. Would you
Because
want...
let's face it,
Gone?
if this Dead or Alive reboot that's supposedly happening is actually happening, Koei Tecmo is going to need some knowledge on Unreal Engine 5. What better way to get that knowledge than licensing some of their characters out?
Mm-hmm. At least getting people familiar with the systems. Another one, this would probably be a...
You were going to ask me something first, though?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, who would you want from DOA for it, but you answered that question for me.
Yeah.
I
Also Kasumi, just because Kasumi's the mascot.
For that game, for that series, yeah.
Yeah.
But they could change that with the reboot. What if they made it Ayane?
I would not like that, but I would accept it.
Here's one for me. Like, if you wanted to include guest characters, give me somebody from Virtua Fighter.
Hell yeah, I'd be down for that. Because Tekken really wouldn't exist if it weren't for Virtua Fighter if we ultimately get down to it.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that could be a nice, nod or homage.
Well, we know that a new Virtua Fighter is in the works. It's just when.
At some point. We're getting a new VF. But
I would want Sarah as the guest character from VF. What about you?
Akira or Pi?
Fuck Pi.
Fuck you. Because I like playing Pi in Virtua Fighter 5.
I know, you're fucking obnoxious with her, though.
That's the reason. You don't like me because of that.
I like you just fine. I don't like Pi. She was also fucking obnoxious in Dead or Alive 5, so I have trauma.
You said she's broken.
She is! She literally broke Dead or Alive 5.
Now I have to try it.
Yeah, they had to nerf her multiple times, and even after multiple fucking nerfs, she was still a top tier character.
That just shows how awesome she is.
Yep. Aoi from Virtua Fighter, she would be one that I'd enjoy.
I think we need a wrestler. We need the wrestler from Virtua Fighter.
Who's that?
I need to get his name again.
Oh, Madman's going to hate us with this edit. I just can hear him warping up his vocal cords because of all of the pauses. L-Blaze, cool.
Yeah, I know. Actually, one that I would also like to see, if you wanted to bring in if you want to bring in, say, special characters from VF, what about Go?
Interesting. Him and Brian could have some interesting interactions.
I feel like those two would have some interesting talks, that's for sure. If they talk more like grunts.
And screams.
Yeah.
I have an outside pick that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Kiryu from the Yakuza games.
That has to happen. Or if you want to go with the Yakuza or Like a Dragon games, Majima.
Yeah, either would be a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah, but that would actually be the question. Should you bring in characters from other franchises as special guests in this game? Because if they did that, they did do Geese from Fatal Fury. They brought Noctis from Final Fantasy. You had Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yep. Just go for it. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Name one other character you want to see as a guest.
Well, actually, here's the thing. If you want to talk the DLC cast...
Yep.
My other pick is actually not a guest.
Okay.
I want a new character.
Yeah, I want new characters too.
I would say that should be it, because like the DLC roster, if I'm right, is only going to be 4 for the first season.
Probably.
But at least I would say make one of those 4 a new character.
I agree, because there's not enough new blood in Tekken right now.
But with these, with the additions of Azucena, Victor, and Reina, like those are good, but
they're quality.
I would still say like the game that did, like for me, at least if we're talking recent, that did new characters the best is Mortal Kombat X.
I have not. Oh wait, I have played Mortal Kombat X. I thought you said Mortal Kombat 1 at first.
No, Mortal Kombat X.
Could that even be recent though?
I'd still count that as kind of recent, but at least if you're talking for recent fighting games from like this gen and last gen.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat
I
X put
do
in the most new characters, I think, at least in terms of recent fighting games.
I do have a request though for a character I'd like to see at some point as DLC for Tekken. Sophidia,
Where are they from again?
Soul Calibur.
Okay, you want a Soul Cal character in there?
Yeah, because let's face it, they're going to be working on Soul Calibur 7 next. In at least this fighting game division of Bandai Namco.
Hopefully it does better than 6.
6 sold well, they've said.
Yeah. I
They
heard
said it did
6
better
did
than expected.
6 did so well, but it didn't have as much staying power.
It had 3 seasons of DLC.
It honestly didn't feel like it was promoted as much, like, compared to Tekken. That's
I
the
think
thing that
it
kind of
was
bothers me.
I think it was promoted a lot. I think that it just didn't have the staying power because people got pissed off with the netcode.
But yet Tekken lived.
Tekken at least had reasonable netcode. Soul Calibur did not.
Which, hopefully, like, if that's the big thing I'm hoping for Tekken 8, as long as its netcode is solid.
Mm-hmm. Same here. But I really want Sophidia, and I think what better way to get the hype up for the new Soul Calibur game than to literally put up Soul Calibur's pinup girl as a guest character in your own fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, imagine her glow up in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, because as you said, this could be just, here's a teaser. Like, here, we're going to give you a character from Soul Calibur, and this could be a tease of what Soul Cal 7's going to be.
Yep, which I think that would be freaking awesome, personally.
Mm-hmm. But we know there's going to be more than one season of Tekken 8.
Yep.
If this will live as long as Tekken 7, which I hope it does.
I don't think it's going to last as long as 7 did, because I think they were kind of scrambling because of COVID.
Mm-hmm. But if this can reach that success level, which right now it seems like it's going to.
Mm-hmm. It definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for Tekken 7. I mean, Tekken 8. Fuck. My brain's really fried now.
I think you need to go to bed.
At some point soon, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to say, like, is there anything else kind of Tekken 8 related you wanted to bring up before we wrap up?
In terms of other things that was shown for Tekken, that I'm more curious with the modes as well. I still want to know what what their story mode is going to be for this game, but I also want to mess around a lot with their training stuff, because you have access to ghosts, and one of the things that they're actually doing with ghosts this time that you couldn't really do in like the closed beta test, because you had to play a ghost when someone was online. You should be able to download that data now and play it.
Yep.
So I really want to mess around with training stuff in this game, because I want to go in on it.
I know that you can actually download ghosts of famous people's matches, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, depending on where they are on the leaderboard and everything. So, like, if you don't go up against a character that often and you want to see what the matchup would look like, you have this as an option. And then even with the game, even telling you, like, hey, you can even fight your own ghost as well. So you can, because that's probably the best way, I would think, to learn this stuff, is like you fighting yourself. And why isn't my strategies working against myself? It's because you're trying your own strategies. Try something else.
Exactly.
So the tutorial stuff, the training stuff, like, if the game's going to help you get better, that's the thing I'm excited for with this game, because you haven't really seen that often recently, and I hope it does well, and I would want other developers to take note of that too. If it works well for Tekken 8, I'd love to see this in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I'd even like to see this implemented at some point even into Street Fighter 6 or Mortal Kombat 1.
Definitely. I can see why, and I think it should be implemented in all fighting games going forward.
But this is going to be the test bed here. It almost seems like they did do a little bit of it seemed like, with Tekken 7, but it's now going to be bigger scale. We're going to see how well that goes. I hope it does well, because I would like to have that kind of stuff.
As would I. So, John, is there anything you want to promote before we sign off?
Other than that, no, just thanks for having me here. I appreciate it. We should do these again soon.
Definitely.
But yeah, if you want to keep in touch, you know, I have a Twitter or an X or whatever the hell you want to call it. I try to stream whenever I can. I do have a YouTube, as this guy knows.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try and keep updated with as much as I can. But I hope you guys could check it out. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you have to say, because I thank you all for your support in any way whatsoever. It means a lot.
No problem. Thanks for being on, John. And 2 of my previous podcasts will be popping up now. Check them out. And until next time, keep blazing that trail.